The road was never marked on any map, yet everyone in the town knew it existed. It began where the asphalt cracked and the street lights stopped pretending to care. People called it the last kilometer because no one who traveled that final stretch ever returned the same, or returned at all. On the moonless night soaked in fog, I found myself driving straight toward it, my radio spitting static like whispered warnings I refused to hear. The fog thickened as soon as my tires crossed the broken line. Trees leaned inward, their branches clawing the air, forming a tunnel that swallowed my headlights. Every few seconds, the road signs changed, first showing places I recognized, then names scratched out, and finally nothing but symbols that made my eyes ache. I slowed down, but the speedometer climbed on its own, ticking higher as if something else had its foot on the pedal. That's when I saw him in the rearview mirror.
Everyone avoids the third floor of Al-Noor Hospital after midnight. Nurses say the lights flicker there on their own. Patients who accidentally wander near it start crying without knowing why. Officially, there is no room 911. Unofficially, it has been locked for 20 years. Tonight, I was assigned to clean it. The elevator refused to stop on the third floor. I had to take the stairs, each step echoing like a heartbeat inside my skull. The hallway smelled of antiseptic and something rotten beneath it, like old wounds that never healed. At the far end stood a door without a number, its paint scratched away by fingernails. As I touched the handle, the corridor lights went out behind me. The door creaked open to a room far larger than it should have been. Hospital beds were lined in rows, all occupied by bodies covered in white sheets. A monitor beeped somewhere, slow and uneven, like it was struggling to stay alive.
I never listened to voice notes after midnight. That rule kept me sane for years. But at 2:17 a.m., my phone buzzed on the bedside table, lighting up the room with a single notification. Unknown contact sent a voice message. No missed call, no number, just a timestamp marked tomorrow. I tried to delete it. The screen froze. The play button pulsed slowly, like a breathing wound. When I finally tapped it, static hissed for a few seconds, followed by my own voice, panicked, whispering, "If you're hearing this, it's already inside the house." I sat up, heart racing, convinced it was some cruel prank. Then I heard the same whisper echo faintly from the hallway. The message continued, "Don't turn on the lights, it learns your shape." My bedroom door creaked open by itself. The darkness beyond it felt thick, layered, wrong, like something was standing inside it, pretending to be empty space.
The elevator in my apartment building skips sometimes. Everyone knows that. It shudders, the lights flicker, and for a second, the floor numbers disappear. Management says it's an old wiring issue. They're lying. Because one night at 12:44 a.m., the elevator stopped on a floor that doesn't exist. The display read 13.5. The doors opened to a narrow corridor, far thinner than the others in the building. The walls were stained yellow, bulging slightly as if they were breathing. A single fluorescent light buzzed overhead, casting shadows that didn't match my movements. Before I could react, the elevator doors slid shut behind me with a soft, final chime. My phone lost signal instantly. No bars, no time, just a blank screen reflecting my face, and something standing behind me. When I turned around, the corridor stretched longer than before, bending downward like a throat.
The village of Darya Kalan was the kind of place maps forgot on purpose. Surrounded by endless fields and a narrow dirt road that vanished into fog every evening, it followed a rule no outsider understood. No one stepped outside after sunset. Doors were locked, lanterns blown out, and prayers whispered under trembling breaths. They said the fields listened at night, and once they learned your name, they never forgot it. Adil arrived just before dusk, his motorcycle coughing its last breath near an old wheat farm. The air felt heavier here, thick with the smell of damp soil and something rotten beneath it. An old farmer stood near the edge of the field, staring into the crops as if watching someone sleep. When Adil asked for help, the farmer turned slowly, his eyes pale and wet like they had cried too much. "Leave before dark," he whispered.
Everyone in the apartment building knew about Flat 309, but no one talked about it out loud. It wasn't locked, it wasn't sealed, and it wasn't abandoned. Yet no one had ever seen anyone live there. The electricity meter still ran, the doorbell sometimes rang by itself, and at exactly 2:17 a.m., a child could be heard crying from inside. The management called it old plumbing noises. The residents called it a mistake that should not exist. When Saad moved in, he laughed at the warnings. He worked night shifts and slept during the day, so noises didn't bother him. But on his third night, while brushing his teeth, he noticed something strange. The bathroom wall felt warm. Not just warm, alive. When he pressed his ear against it, he heard breathing, slow and uneven, like someone struggling to stay quiet. The crying started the next night. It didn't come from the hallway. It came from inside the wall.
No one dared walk the old forest path after sunset, not since the disappearances began. They said a single lantern appeared in the mist, held by someone, or something that no one ever saw clearly. Some called it a guide, others a trap. Farhan didn't believe in old stories. He liked the thrill, the idea of proving his courage. That's why, one cold evening, he stepped into the fog, flashlight in hand, unaware that the forest had been waiting for him. The fog swallowed sound until even his own breathing seemed distant. Then he saw it, a faint golden glow hovering between the trees. The light moved slowly, pausing occasionally, as if watching him decide whether to follow. Against his better judgment, Farhan followed, drawn by curiosity and something deeper he couldn't name. The closer he got, the colder it became. His skin prickled. Shadows stretched unnaturally around the lantern, twisting into shapes that weren't there a moment ago.
I used to think houses were just wood, nails, and old smells trapped in the walls. That belief ended the night my childhood home whispered my name, slowly, carefully, like it was tasting the sound of it for the first time. I hadn't been back in 15 years, not since my mother died inside that house and my father disappeared shortly after. I told myself it was closure. I was lying. The house stood exactly where I remembered it, rotting politely behind overgrown hedges, its windows dark like eyes refusing to blink. The air felt heavier the closer I got, as if the place was holding its breath. When I unlocked the front door, it opened too easily, as though it had been waiting. Inside, the smell hit me immediately. Dust, mildew, and something faintly metallic. The silence was wrong, not quiet. Listening, I stayed the first night on the couch, unable to bring myself to enter my old bedroom.
Not since one of them started replying before I finished typing. It happened during a live stream, nothing special. Just a late-night horror discussion with maybe 50 people watching. The chat was quiet, slow-scrolling usernames, and inside jokes. Then a new comment appeared from an account called Watching From Inside. It wrote, "You missed a spot behind you." I laughed it off at first, played it like a joke for the stream, but I hadn't moved. The comment appeared again seconds later. "The shadow near the door. It's getting longer." My smile stiffened. The chat went wild, people spamming question marks, laughing emojis, asking if it was scripted. I didn't have a shadow near the door until I glanced at my monitor reflection and saw something thin stretching across the floor. I ended the stream early, told everyone my internet was acting up. As soon as the camera turned off, the comment section refreshed by itself. Every night, someone is the last person on Earth to fall asleep. I never thought about it until I became that person. It started as insomnia, harmless at first. Midnight stretched into 3 a.m., then 4. The world outside my window felt paused, like someone had pressed mute on existence. No cars, no wind, no distant sirens. Just stillness so complete, it made my ears ring. On the third night, I noticed something strange. My phone stopped receiving notifications. No new posts, no messages, no system updates. The clock still moved, but time felt thin, brittle. At exactly 4:11 a.m., my television turned on by itself, displaying a grainy live feed labeled Global Sleep Status. The number read 1 awake. I laughed nervously and turned it off, but the screen flickered back on moments later. The number hadn't changed. A soft voice replaced the static. Calm, tired, ancient. "Please rest," it said. "We are waiting."
Every night, someone is the last person on Earth to fall asleep. I never thought about it until I became that person. It started as insomnia, harmless at first. Midnight stretched into 3 a.m., then 4. The world outside my window felt paused, like someone had pressed mute on existence. No cars, no wind, no distant sirens, just stillness so complete it made my ears ring. On the third night, I noticed something strange. My phone stopped receiving notifications. No new posts, no messages, no system updates. The clock still moved, but time felt thin, brittle. At exactly 4:11 a.m., my television turned on by itself, displaying a grainy live feed labeled Global Sleep Status. The number read 1 awake. I laughed nervously and turned it off, but the screen flickered back on moments later. The number hadn't changed. A soft voice replaced the static, calm, tired, ancient. Please rest, it said, we are waiting. Emphasis was placed on quality trade execution. During this period, a total of XX trades were executed across the selected markets. Out of these, XX trades resulted in profit while XX trades closed in loss. The overall performance demonstrates a balanced trading methodology. Losses were managed within predefined risk parameters. Winning trades were allowed to run according to plan. From a financial perspective, the total gross profit recorded for January amounted to plus XXX USD. The total losses stood at XXX USD. After accounting for both profits and losses, the month concluded with a net positive result of plus XXX USD. This reflects effective capital preservation and controlled exposure. In terms of performance statistics, the trading account achieved a winning percentage of XX%. The losing percentage remained at XX%. These figures highlight a stable win-loss distribution aligned with professional trading standards. This is supported by a consistent risk-to-reward framework rather than reliance on a high win rate alone.